Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, where we talk about the biggest issues impacting millennial money, from student loan debt to side hustles to building wealth. We will show you how to get out of debt so that you can build real wealth for the future.
Welcome to the show today. We dive into the top 10 U.S. banks by assets in 2023. Very interesting stuff, so let's dive right in. There are a lot of factors to consider when identifying the top 10 banks in the U.S., but a bank's total asset volume is kind of a very useful basis for comparison. There are a lot of different ways that you can choose a bank. You might look at a bank that offers a wide variety of products and features that you're interested in, particularly high interest rates for its savings accounts or exceptional customer service. A bank that has physical locations near you might also be worth checking out, though the prevalence of online banking may make this a less important factor. The size of a bank may also play a role in helping you decide which financial institution to bank with. While bigger may not always be better, that's for sure. It can still be nice to know that a bank has been around for a while and has experience managing a large amount of money. Two shared characteristics among all of the top 10 banks in the U.S. Okay, so first of all, one of the common ways that banks are measured is by their total assets. Standard & Poor's, which is the same company behind the S&P, Standard & Poor's 500 stock index, regularly maintains a list of the top banks in the world. So here's a look at the top 10 in the U.S. in 2023 as ranked by total assets managed as of December 31st, 2022. And they are as follows. JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank in the U.S., is JP Morgan Chase. Total assets around $3.7 with a T trillion dollars, often referred to simply as Chase Bank. JP Morgan Chase has been formed over the years through mergers and acquisitions. Headquartered in New York City, Chase traces its roots back to the Bank of the Manhattan Company, formed by Aaron Burr in 1799. Remember the duel? Look it up, Aaron Burr duel, if you have never heard of it. I don't know about that guy. All right, now, next on our list, Bank of America. Headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina, Bank of America is the second largest bank in the U.S., with total assets of just over $3 trillion. Bank of America was founded in 1998, relatively new, with the merger of Bank America and Nations Bank, which was at the time the largest bank merger in American history. All right, Citigroup is up next. Citigroup, which is often stylized as Citi or Citibank, has an asset value of over $2.4 trillion, making it the nation's third largest bank. Headquartered in New York City's Lower Manhattan, Citigroup was formed in 1998, again, another new bank, from the merger of Citibank and Travelers Group. Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is the fourth and final of the big four banks in the U.S., with total assets of almost $2 trillion. It was established in 1852 during the California Gold Rush by two of the founders of American Express. Wells Fargo is headquartered in San Francisco. Goldman Sachs. All right, so the Goldman Sachs Group was founded in 1869 and is headquartered in New York City. Goldman Sachs is an investment bank, and it's well known for its expertise in advising businesses on mergers and acquisitions. Goldman Sachs manages total assets of around $1.4 trillion. Another very familiar name, Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley was established in 1935 and has grown to become a major investment bank and financial services firm. Headquartered in New York City, it traces its roots back to the Glass-Steagall Act of 1933, in which Congress passed a bill prohibiting banks from engaging in both investment and commercial banking. J.P. Morgan and Company chose to continue working in the commercial banking sector, and several of its employees left to form Morgan Stanley as an investment bank. Morgan Stanley has assets of nearly $1.2 trillion. U.S. Bancorp, or U.S. Bank, is headquartered in Minneapolis. U.S. Bank currently operates under the second oldest continuous national bank charter, which was originally granted in 1863 to the First National Bank of Cincinnati, later acquired by the company that is now U.S. Bancorp. So U.S. Bank has total assets of nearly $675 billion. PNC Financial Services Group. I'm with PNC. PNC Financial Services Group, or just PNC Bank, is the 8th largest bank in the U.S., with total assets of around $560 billion. PNC traces its history back to 1852 as the Pittsburgh Trust and Savings Company and is headquartered in Pittsburgh. Truist Financial Corporation. Truist Financial Corporation is headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina, and has around $555 billion in assets. Truist Bank was founded in 2019 with the merger of BB&T and SunTrust banks, but it traces its roots back as far as 1872, I can't talk today, with the founding of the Branch and Hadley Merchant Bank in Wilson, North Carolina. Capital One, they did make the list. Capital One Financial Corporation is a bank that specializes in credit cards, of course, auto loans, checking, and savings accounts. It's currently headquartered in McLean, Virginia, which is about 14 miles outside of Washington, D.C. Capital One has total assets of just over $455 billion. The golden question as we went through the list: is a bigger bank better? While you may not want to put your money in a fly-by-night financial institution, size isn't really the only important factor in choosing a bank. Instead of just electing to work with the biggest out there, you should instead look at the products, services, and features offered to make sure you find the right bank for you and your family. All the banks on this list are financially sound for sure, but you'll need to take a closer look at each to see which is the best fit for your specific needs, regardless of its size. The bottom line, banks can be measured and compared in many different ways, but one of the most common yardsticks is the size of a bank by its total assets. The top 10 U.S. banks in 2023 all have over $450 billion in assets, and many of the top banks on the list have trillions of dollars of assets. Size is not, by any stretch of the imagination, everything. It just may be a good indicator of a bank's stability, product variety, and accessibility, making it an important factor to consider when switching banks or choosing where to park your money for the first time. That is our show for today. You definitely can dive deep on all things banks and managing money at thecollegeinvestor.com. Absolutely tons of resources for you right on that one website. Follow us all over social media too. We'd love to get to know you and help you along in your money journey. At The College Investor, just search for us and you'll find us. Thanks again for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.